kind of off the deep end. Okay, so I really like Bristly Bill. 2 mana. Landfall, put a +1 counter on target creature. I have been trying for a long time to play like an to figure out an alternative hardened scales build that is leaning kind of away from like the Arcbound Ravager, Patchwork Automaton artifacts and more in on Bristly Bill and non-artifacts and stuff. Thing is, there are not that many good payoffs. I've tried a lot. I have tried a lot of different shells, and we played Bill and Heliod on stream. I think Bill is solid in that deck. You could maybe try to play Hardened Scales there. Um, but I just kind of have this vision of playing Bill in a Devotions shell with Leyline Scion, where obviously you get to protect your stuff and whatever, and then Leyline Nykthos. We've had a few different Leyline Nykthos shells. Uh, Always with Scion or at least the ones with Scion have been the ones that have been successful. But I just have this vision of putting counters on stuff, or had this vision of putting counters on stuff and using Bill as both a powerful threat that's also this big mana sink in your Nykthos deck. To like close the game pretty fast. And so I went back to the Leyline Scion Devotion shell with that we had played. And I think that was the best non Enchantress Devotion deck had ever had on the channel. We played a lot of like bad mono green Devotion decks, but that one was actually pretty reasonable. Still felt like the Devotion deck was like the better Nykthos deck or whatever, but I liked that one. And one card I really wanted to play in that shell was Archdruid's Charm, but it just didn't really make sense, I think, with like the lack of creatures in that deck, and also really wanting to play Overgrowth and Kiora and that kind of stuff. Like it just didn't work in that build. But in a build that is more creature focused, and a build that's even wanting to play Hardened Scales, Archdruid puts a counter on on something on the fight mode. And I love that the card could just put a Nykthos into play. It could be like a really efficient removal spell against creatures, against artifacts, against enchantments. And they could also tutor up a Scion if you have Leyline. It could tutor up Bill. You can tutor up Ballista in the late game. You can tutor up Nissa for Elvish Archivist for value. Archivist is a card I have mixed feelings on at the moment. I think it is like the best thing we can play in the slot. And I think this deck really wants another cheap creature that cares about +1 counters, and the deck also really wants a card that can draw some cards. Archivist is both of these things. We have a lot of enchantments in the deck. We have 12 enchantments. We have a good amount of artifacts. We have 10 artifacts, and then we also have 4 stirrings that can find artifacts. We have the Archdruid's Charm that can put artifacts into our hand. Like kind of the rest of the deck is mostly just churn. And so Archivist has been pretty good so far. I haven't played a ton. I didn't get to play a ton with this last night, but from when I was playing, the deck is like fast and seemingly hard to interact with, while getting to play a reasonable amount of main deck interaction, and has some like really, really sweet explosive turns. So let's get into it. Welcome conversation. Welcome to the stream. Glad you're here. And I'm glad everybody else is here, huh? It's gonna be a fun day today. Fathom Mage. Oh boy. The Ozolith is also like really nice in this deck here, where it's like that extra mana sink. Activating it every turn has been really nice, and also if you can cycle it too, has been pretty relevant. Yeah, the one of Nissa ended up being kind of weird, but it's like we're already like a green deck with creature tutors playing an elf card advantage engine that's playing like we're playing like 9 fetch lands. Felt like to me the Nissa was the first copy of Nissa is gonna be pretty good, but I'm also like just always like, yeah, let's get that one copy of Nissa in these decks. So we have Leyline Nykthos, and we have really nothing else beyond that besides this Archivist, but we have a Surveil land, and it's just kind of hard to mulligan hands that have Nykthos, Leyline, 2 other lands. We'll figure it out. Is Archivist the only hit off Nissa? Yeah, but with one Nissa, like having 4 hits is pretty good. And then having multiple Archivist in play is kind of nice if you can start chaining together some enchantments. Okay, no longer have an Archivist in our hand. That's okay. We're surveilling. gonna put that Scales in the yard. Ozolith a lot better than Scales here. Gonna turn any creature we draw into a really potent threat. Like I said, all their Thoughtseizers are pretty dead here too. You also have Endurances in the board. So up against Goryo's, we have a lot of graveyard hate. We have not only the 4 Endurances, but we have a Bojuka Bog you can find off of Archdruid's Charm. They mill an Atraxa and they mill a Priest, so that's pretty scary. I draw a Bristly Bill. It's kind of interesting. I guess it's better for me to landfall the Bill than it is for me to activate the Ozolith. Next turn, can I activate Ozolith and activate Bill? I'll have 6, 7. Yeah, I'll have exactly enough for that. Too bad they have this pesky Archaeologist in play. Gonna leave the Triomes in a deck to cycle. Bill. So next turn we'll go Forest, activate Ozolith. Two counters from the Forest, 2 counters from the Ozolith, so it'll be a 10-10. Yeah, it'll be a 20-20. And because we can also double the counters. Do they just have a Goryo's in their hand? We'll see. Okay, playing an Archaeologist, another chump blocker for Bill. Finding a Goryo's Vengeance for next turn. Pretty yikes. Save that for an Elvish Archivist, I guess. Well, we got a 20-20. Probably not going to be good enough here. But this is certainly the vision. Wait, 19. Oh, right, because it's... Sorry, I missed the discount here. It's okay, they're at 50. Chump block with your Archaeologist opponent. I dare you. Does Tarnation Vista work with Leyline in the Guildpact? Among monocolored permanents, right? Yeah, that's that one's a bit sus. Matchup should be a lot better. Post board. Got a lot of graveyard hate. Wait, they're double blocking? This doesn't have trample. Just need Scion. Yeah, if we top deck Scion, we are in really good shape. We also have 4 Archdruid's Charms that can grab Scion. We also have Ancient Stirrings that can dig for Scion, so that's nice. Although if my opponent, I guess even just Scion by itself, it might take a couple turns. But if I go Scion, I can just put 2 counters on with the Ozolith this turn. Then the next turn, it'll be big enough to just kind of stop everything my opponent's doing. And if they Solitude my Bill, I'm going to gain, like, I'm going to gain 19 life, and I may just have a lot of time. My first thought was build the pony. I feel debated. That's on you, brother. Make them register and build the pony. Are there any other bills in Magic besides Bristly Bill and Build the Pony? Can't think of any off the top of my head. Yeah, just these. Oh, Kithkin Billy Rider. So we have 3 out of 99 cards for our Bill-themed EDH deck. My opponent chooses Atraxa, Prismatic Ending, Force of Negation, and Hallowed Fountain off of their first Atraxa. Smack in for 7 here. So no, they did not grab Solitude, so I think they're just going to Prismatic Ending my Bill, and then let the Atraxa die. Goodbye, sweet Leyline of the Guildpact. What did they pitch? They pitched a Gristlebrand. Ooh, let's go! Yeah, me going up to 30 life, like, again, a Scion, if a Scion plus the Ozolith has a really good chance of just defeating my opponent. Although I guess they have Prismatic Ending for the Ozolith, huh? And then I have 8 cards that let me put a Scion in play next turn, and I also have 4 Ancient Stirrings. So they put an another Atraxa, an Ephemerate, and a Marsh Flats into their hand. They don't have enough cards in hand to like value discard, so their hand should be Force of Negation, Atraxa, Ephemerate, Marsh Flats. This is an interesting top deck. Oh, they also have the Prismatic Ending. So if I go X equals 2 on this Ballista, and then activate, so it'll be coming down as a 3/3, activate the Ozolith. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to Legend Rule the Nykthos here. Four, 6/6. Then they they did pitch the Prismatic Ending. That's good news. Yeah, just a little short of killing the Atraxa. Maybe should have sandbagged the Nykthos. So they find another Solitude and another Ephemerate. We're still in this game. Weirdly. Obviously behind. Yeah, I'll take 6 more life. They're not attacking with the Atraxa this turn. A cool 36. Seems like they're thinking about ephemerating the Solitude. Would the One Ring fit in the shell? You could play the One Ring. I've played, obviously the One Ring is something we played in the other builds of Devotion. It's kind of nice with Kiora. It's a good hit off Ancient Stirrings. You can play the Ring. One thing that I feel like that is like less necessary about the Ring and the shell compared to other decks you might play the Ring in is we have a lot of mana sinks with the Walking Ballistas and the Bills. Like, if we just have either of those cards in play, and also the Ozolith to a lesser extent, we just can use our mana to be more proactive. So I feel like having a lower curve than the Ring and being able to be more explosive is just what I'm valuing at the moment. Yeah, that's bad. That's gonna make my Scion top deck not as good, huh? Only one Surveil land. How confused you get past their Death Touch removal suite? I'm intrigued to find out. So if we can put 2 Scions in play, I guess I should have saved this for Bill. Sorry. If we can get 2 Scions in play, or Nissa. 2 Scions in play, or a Scion that's a 7/7. We have a first strike vigilance. We have a creature that can just defeat Atraxa in combat, and we can put ourselves in a position where like they just really can't get past it game 1 if they don't have a Teferi in their deck. Which is really nice. I think this is gonna get Force of Negation. And they pitched Force of Negation, and we just have the life points to potentially like survive until we get there. Especially because we also have Archdruid's Charms to find Scions. We have another Ozolith that could grow it. We have Bill that would get the Scion up to 6/6, and then we activate for higher. Of course, we have to draw one of these cards. I'm gonna try to save this because it's just gonna likely die if I play it, and then if I save it, like if I do draw Scion next turn, I get to go Scion, crack my fetch lands, 2 counters, and do I get to activate Bill? I may be a little short of activating Bill because I don't think we can activate Nykthos post Bill. Just see if we draw it. No, I don't think we actually have any outs. Let's go and go to game 2. Things will likely improve a lot. We get to have a lot of graveyard hate today. Get the Bog off of the Archdruid's Charm. So I think I want to be cutting like the Scales and the second Ozolith when I'm bringing in like a lot of non. Ozolith still playing a lot of non. Or maybe this is too few enchantments for Archivist. Play Scales over Ozolith for Ozolith Archivist cycle some more. Got the Nissa. What the Nissa finds me endurances, so cutting the Nissa is silly. Could I also just cut the Archivists? Seems tough. What if I did? Cutting Archivist is nice because like the Nissa only hits endurance, but it's maybe a little narrow. this. Oh, I did not mean to cut a Utopia Sprawl. Sorry, I thought that was a scales. Never ever cut Utopia Sprawl. Was Orny Tumblewag. Honorary Tumblewag an option for this deck? Okay, I will read Honorary Tumblewag. I cannot help myself when someone's just cards I don't know. 3 mana, 2/2. At the beginning of combat turn, put a counter on target creature whenever its attacks with saddle double. Yeah, that card is pretty bad, but if it was, you know, less mana, I'd be down. Okay, weird hand. We do have an endurance. The bog is looking pretty awkward here. Shit's not castable. Let's just take them all again. Okay, keep this one. Put back this second sprawl. Maybe I should put back. Yeah, I'll just put back second sprawl here. I get to go turn 2 Bill and fetch land, which is nice. Opponent's also on the mold of 6 here. Is this an Elvish Reclaimer deck? I'm a huge Elvish Reclaimer hater. Doesn't really work with the Hardened Scale stuff either, but Reclaimer's just not a good card, you know? Okay, opponent. Already down 10 minutes on the clock. I'm gonna prioritize getting a Triome here, so Scion is a good top deck. Yeah, y'all did get me to play Legion's Landing. Landing's pretty good. Looks like another Prismatic Ending. Kami of Whispered Hopes. We sure have had some readers in chat today, huh? Yes, I'm a Bill. Oh, I'm only a Bill. We're going to go for Surveil Land here. Scion is going to be castable because we're going to have a domain of 4. That's the 3 mana 1/1. That's the 3 mana 1/1. That I like. Yeah, that card is pretty good if you have Leyline Scion and on top with it, but no 3 mana 1/1s. We're not there yet. We're off the deep end today. We're not that off the deep end. It keeps the card on top. Kind of scared of Hardcast Grief next turn. I'm gonna graveyard that. Should have better top decks. Seems that I should 2/2 Ballista that I turn into a 3/3. My opponent doesn't have any blue mana up, so it's exceedingly unlikely that they can Goryo's me next turn. I've seen you play 3 mana 1/1s before. Yeah, I played Soul Herder. I don't know that I've played. I haven't cast Soul Herder since Bowmaster's been legal. I've been trying to think about a Soul Herder Satoru deck and coming back with it. But I don't know. Like 3 mana 1/1s with no ETB is like. But it is a cool card. You know, it's not a bad suggestion, but just is not going to make the cut. So they find a Goryo's Vengeance to put into their hand. Nothing to Goryo's in there at the moment, though. Goodbye, sweet Bill. We hardly knew ye. Yeah, Recruiter has an ETB. It's like 3 mana 1/1, no ETB, is no protection is like. What are we doing here? Okay. I'm gonna save this for Bill number 3 or Nissa. Yeah, I agree that Soul Herder is not like the worst ever in the Bowmaster metagame, especially if you're playing your own Bowmasters in this like Esper Vile deck. I've been looking at it for sure. I have a couple other decks prepared, or I guess I have one other deck prepared at the moment, and then I want to play one more League of Mono White Convoke after 5-0ing yesterday. At some point, I don't know when, but at some point I want to get one more league in. Thought I was gonna be leading on today's backup deck, but it was just too sweet. Or this deck was too sweet to not lead on, I think. Okay, let's get Endurance into play. I think I will not target either graveyard. It's a good amount of gas to shuffle back in. We've got a pretty good attack. Got a lot of good top decks too. Not the best, but got that Ballista Mana Sink here. Getting 2 counters every activation now. And I don't have lethal if I've got ping ping, hit them for 6, and then I have 3 more points of damage. So they're at 8, 7, yeah, versus... Yeah, I think I'll just keep the counters on the Ballista for now. Some 4-color, no red deck with Soul Herder, Bowmaster, Satoro, E-Witness, and Ephemerate. Witness is like so harsh on the mana. Like I've basically just been envisioning this deck as Esper. Yeah, basically just been envisioning it as Esper so far. But yeah, you could. I would probably play Recruiter over Witness if I was splashing for 1 color too, where Recruiter's much easier to splash for, and it's been really, really good with Satoro. So it has Goryo's 3 mystery cards. Prismatic Ending on my Ballista. Tap on tap, tap on tap, tap on tap. Those are Boz. In this deck, we have 8 artifact creatures, but we're just too low on artifact creatures to play a card with modular. No whammies? No whammies. Well, there's a whammy, but no Griselbrand or Attrax in the yard yet is something. Also, if they ephemerate the Archaeologist, I'll just ping, ping, ping. Yep, to counter the dig through time. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Could have maybe played the land last turn, I guess, to double activate Ballista if we drew land. Saving it for Nissa or Bill, also very worthwhile. Bill would be insane top deck. This should be lethal, or should present lethal. It has Goryo's 2 mystery cards. Okay. They ping. I think they're conceding. Yeah, they conceded before. This is the point they concede at. Okay, I think I like my sideboard plan. Let's go to game 3. Roaring Earth. Yeah, so I was like looking at Roaring Earth for a while. And then they printed Bill. I'm like, wow, I don't have to look at Roaring Earth anymore. How do you feel about this hand? I really like that we have Nissa with 4 endurances. The Bog is also like kind of promising. It's maybe too slow on the draw, but I think I'm gonna click the keep button. Utopia Sprawl is the best draw, probably. It's an interesting one, at least. So next turn, it's kind of an interesting choice. Assuming we don't draw anything relevant. Because we can go like Nykthos Ballista and save our fetch land for the Nissa. But we can also play our fetch land so that we have Archdruid's Charm for Bojuka Bog up. So they're Prismatic Ending my Scales. Okay. So maybe I'm just going to like Surveil land here. Okay, I guess that makes things kind of easier. Thank you, Underclocker. Glad you liking the stream. Would you ever play Archaeologist deck? I mean, it finds scales and gets counters. We're at 22 hits, which is it's a little low for Archaeologist. We also don't like really have graveyard synergies, but you could maybe play Cauldron to get some. Okay, I haven't seen Marches yet. I would not hate it. Thinking... My opponent's already used 2 removal spells. I'm going to cast the Nissa. But knowing the currently spoiled flag cards, what do you think would be appropriate for the white one to do? I've been kind of thinking about it. I haven't seen any of the... I don't know if any of the Marty ones have been leaked. I haven't seen them. I've seen one other leaked card. I don't want to talk about it. I think that all of those flares are going to be 3 mana like spells that exist. Seems to be the current cycle. So like 3 mana non-creature spells, and like thinking about that in white, Glorious Anthem is a card that comes to mind. I would really not like another Anthem pitch card because we already have Force of Virtue. I think it'd be cool to do something else. But white is also not really that known for 3 mana non-creature spells. You know what I mean? Be cool if the white one was draw 2 cards. I'm on board. Timely Reinforcements? Yeah, Timely Reinforcements could be good. Yeah, Oblivion Ring. Oblivion Ring actually like that a lot. We're not playing Lost Jitte because we have no sagas. Yeah, I was thinking you could play Lost Jitte on top of Nykthos. Another artifact for our Archivist. I just wasn't sure what you might cut. Maybe second Ozolith. First copy just seemed like kind of nice. The more I'm thinking about it. Maybe we should have at least the first one. So you can find it off Stirrings. Maybe over the Nissa. Okay, opponent. We're 40 minutes into the stream. Opponent discards a Grief and a Faithful Mending. We accept this. They play a Godless Shrine untapped. They tap it for a black, and then they Thoughtseize me. I don't know what they're gonna take. maybe the Leyline, because then my Scion is a lot worse. Spectral Procession? Yeah, Spectral Procession could be good. It would be, if they enter untapped, it would actually be really good to go like Thraben Inspector, Novice Inspector, make 3 1/1s for 0 mana, and then like start convoking. That would be crazy for the Collector's Cage deck too. So they're gonna Solitude my Nissa. Okay, they are gonna Solitude my Nissa, going down to just 1 card in their hand with no reanimation target in their yard. I think this is gonna be acceptable. They did take the Leyline. I have Archdruid's Charm up. Not entirely sure what we're doing here. I might just get Triome end of turn. It kind of depends on what they do. Tapping for blue means that they could put something in their yard here. Why is Spectral Procession playable again? Oh, they just drew 2. Procession is nice because of the Collector's Cage Windbrisk Kites decks. Like a 0 mana Spectral Procession would be huge for the Collector's Cage decks. Like we trophied with Collector's Cage yesterday, playing like a white Convoke Shell. Interesting. So I think they're going to try to return Grief next turn. So I think what I will do here is I want them to play into that. I don't really want to like tutor Endurance and then they're just playing around with the Priest for a while. I want them to maybe have to play into it just by like, you know, they tap their Priest and then we charm for Bojuka Bog in response. Market Gnome? What, Lingering Souls in the Cage deck? It's too slow in the current build. Like, we're talking about, like, a 0 mana effect, you know what I mean? Dies, gain a life, draw a card. Wow, yeah, that card rules. Good find, for sure. So, we'll see how aware of the Bojuka Bog tech they are. They may just be thinking about Endurance, and they're like, well, I'll just make them pitch the Endurance, and we'll rebuild from there. Came prepared today. Thank you, opponent, for playing into that. A lot of good draws here. Okay, not bad. Cycles with the Archivist. Then now these cost 6 mana, so I mean a land to just like cast both Scions would be kind of nice, but my opponent has, they've got one card in their hand. Is it Hardcast Solitude here? No, they're just surveilling. Graveyards. Oh, Celestial. I'm a Leyline deck. I'm like, they brought in Celestial Purge? And they pending my Archivist. No cards in their hand. 18 minutes. Why does it not feel like my opponent's been playing super slow? Like, I don't. Maybe I'm just happy to be here. But I'm up 16 minutes on the clock. It doesn't feel like they've been playing that slow. Okay, well, it's your turn, opponent. I have lethal in play. You draw like exactly Solitude. Okay, they drew a basic planes, concede. Long match won, but we do end up undefeated. Topaz, 46 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Also, sacking lands in the Quarian Ranger builds can be awkward. All right, well, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, kind of keep. I think I'm gonna put back second fetch land. Maybe I'll put back Boseiju. Just, I think this hand could certainly be really soft to a Boseiju. Or sorry, it said we could play against an opponent who's really soft to a Boseiju is what I mean to say. Yeah, might be playing against Amulet Titan. Bill would be an awesome draw. So not Amulet Titan. Bill. Let me surveil. And play the Nykthos basically no matter what though. I could have waited. Graveyard another land. Thank you, Hedge Maze. Looking for Bill. Looking for Ballista. Ballista, if you will. Yeah, we can go Bill plus Heath plus activate Bill. I guess I'd only be hitting for 8. Yeah, Boseiju's not going to do the most against them, probably. I may be able to, like, kill a Dryad in response to a Escape Shift or something. If we draw Archdruid's Charm, we can exile the ring, potentially. Although I might grab Bill off Archdruid's Charm. Although it seems I am just daydreaming about drawing a spell this game. I think Bill is lethal now, though. Yeah, I did watch Bill Nye the Science Guy in school. They still got Bill. Science rules. So Bill now gets a double. Yeah, Bill. I think I get to put my opponent to 2 if I top decked Bill. Guess I'm gonna go for the 2-turn clock now. I think if we had just had this, even a single turn sooner, we would have hit for 6. Yeah, we would have hit for 4 more total damage, and they're at 4. Oh, sorry, I also should have left the Boseiju up. Don't think it's gonna matter though. I'm at 28, so if they're on Titan and not Escape Shift here, we maybe will get to live. Yeah, and also if I had helped out the Boseiju and Boseiju this Dryad. No, but then they get the extra land. No, I think they're still dealing 28. They might have not played around it. They might have grabbed another Escape Shift. Let's just go ahead and go to next game. Probably a pretty bad matchup, huh? Obviously we did, get a little flooded. So Archdruid's Charm can handle the One Ring, can handle Dryad. Don't necessarily need to bring in like a lot of this other stuff. I think the first Needle is likely correct to bring in though. Alright, let's have a fast hand. Why no Soul Cauldron? We only have 2 creatures in our deck with activated abilities. You could play like 1 Soul Cauldron, but This isn't in my mind like a super good Soul Cauldron deck. Um, the tap land's a little awkward here. I also may want to save the scales to trigger Archivist. Yeah, we beat the Atraxa deck. Okay, interesting draw. Probably saving it for the card draw. Now it even seems like the Archivist is the more important card to be keeping here, so I'm going to lead on Bill. Despite it being pretty boltable. Could you do Soul Cauldron Cypher synergist to Graveyard Hate? Yeah, maybe. Boo. Maybe search an Archon with this. Maybe Nykthos. Just see what we draw off the scales next turn, I think. Alright, so I think I'm just gonna go Hardened Scales and then Charm for Nykthos end of turn. One with no fetch land, it seems. We got 5/5 Ballista here. Yeah, that's mana neutral and +1 counter. I think I will upkeep Surveil this next turn also. So 6/6 Ballista. Let's not go after the Ren and 6 here. I think we respond yet. So they're going to be able to kill my Ballista here. My Ballista. Oh. I guess they could have fetched with the Soccer Tribe Elder that put this towards my face and then and then like still resolve the other one, so they missed 3 damage. Got some good top decks. That's not really one of them. Can save Leyline for Elvish Archivist, or I can cast it for Ballista. Let's do Ballista, especially because we have the second Nykthos. Isn't it better to make an X2 and pump it once? Oh, yeah, sorry. We missed a counter there, which actually matters a ton. Although we're just dying to escape shift. Tough matchup. Yeah, so 7/7 Ballista. So we would have 7/7 there, and then they would have been unable to kill it, and then we could untap, activate at least twice, I believe, because we're drawing the Nykthos. I don't think we could do 3 times, which is 6 more counters, 13/13. They don't sack the elders, so I have to use 6 counters to kill their board, and then I have a 7/7 I can deal them 14, which I don't think was enough. But whatever. Okay, let's mulligan this 7. Keep this 6. Kind of unfortunate this isn't an untapped land, because we would be able to activate Nykthos for 5 on turn 2. We're definitely happy to... Oh. We'd have this one. They could have pinged it with Ren. Oh, yeah, I guess so. Okay, don't need that. Hopefully they don't play an Urza's Tower here. We could have Archdruid's Charm for Scion and cast Scion on turn 2 if this was untap land. Oh, I did also forget. I had to upkeep stop. I guess I did forget to Surveil. Not that we really had any outs of that Scape Shift again. Turn 1 Ragavan is interesting. Looks like they're thinking about evoking a Grief here. Could you sprawl? Yeah, we could sprawl on Nykthos with Leyline, but the problem is you want to tap the non-Nykthos land too, so you can activate Nykthos. Thinking about Undying. Yeah, I'm like very happy if my opponent like uses an Undying effect on Ragavan here and doesn't do anything else, because then maybe I can just if I just charm for Scion, they're gonna be so cooked. Yeah, I guess I could have an Edict. Ooh, Grixis. It is usually best practice, I think, to block the Ragavan and then just let damage happen to play around Undying effects. But let's not do best practice, because I actively want them to. Okay. Does that make sense? First copy, Time of Need, Matt suggestion, just to have 5 bills. You can find Nykthos off Time of Need, it'd be really nice. I don't we have Archdruid's Charm that can find Bill. let's not play Time of Need. Like a 4 mana bill is that's a little bit too much. You could also play the enchantment bill. The card's kind of bad, but you know, the channel's a bit better in this deck. One day we'll play against a fast opponent. How good do you think MH3 is going to make Eldrazi Tron? Pretty good, probably. 0 top, 2 bottom. I'm surprised both so expensive. Is that because of EDH? I got to imagine. Thank you, King Sam. Welcome to the stream. Glad you're here. So if we miss on our stirrings, we can at least cast a Leyline, I guess. Did miss. A lot of mana. Pretty brutal Inquisition. Mishra's Bauble should not take 30 seconds to resolve. Probably starting to read. I think I have an action spell on top of my library. Something that they're reading. Maybe it's Elvish Archivist, which it would not be that good on this in this spot. Be reading the Ozolith maybe. Okay, whatever it is, they are clearing enough the top with Ragavan. I bet it's Bill. Archdruid's Charm, dang. That would have been an awesome draw. Okay, they knew my last card is Ancient Stir, or is Nykthos. I revealed it. And then classic cast Channeler after Thoughtseize. Okay, nice. Drew 3rd Archdruid's Charm anyways. So I can either just get a Scion, which is probably going to be really good. Could play around an Edict by going Legend Duel Nykthos, 4 mana into 9, 13. Play a 6/6 Ballista. I'm going to go for Scion. Yeah, the Scion's off. I'm rearranging the room, and it looks weird, like super far in the background. Maybe I just need to put it back in the background. But it's just too bright, like right next to my head. Scion obviously good against Delirious Dragon Regis Channeler. Will the new Goy finally make Esper Shadow playable? Of course. Of course it will. So here's Ragavan 3 mystery cards. Are they Grixis Shadow with no Gigantha and Basic Island? It's kind of weird for them to be playing this many Discord spells if they're not Shadowed. The Nykthos Mana Singster, Bill, and Ballista. Damn straight. Ozolith too a little bit. Okay, save that for Archivist. Go, Scion, go! War Leaders Helix them every turn. Yeah, Charm is good mana sync too. Guess I'll keep the Sprawl, but you know, this would make Bill a much better draw. I'd be able to go make this super big. But the thing is, this is already, if this lives, we're gonna be doing fine. Let's just make Archivist a better draw. Dude, they're playing a Channeler? They drew an Edict? Nope. Okay, they had better chump block with it at least. Punished for discarding the Nykthos again. Do you get frustrated when other content creators in the space farm my brews for content? Not at all. I actively like when that happens. It's good for my stream. Goody Phil, 6 months. Thank you. Welcome back. So get them down to 6 life points. I was solitaring this in the solo queue when I first put it together, and I had this and I played Bill, and then for the first time I was like, yes, I get to do the thing. But because in the 1v1 queue, because Scion has you hexproof, you can't do it. And for a second I thought the combo just like didn't, or like, you know, you couldn't put counters on when you had Leyline Scion and play for some reason. I was so confused. Well, this Death Shadow is going to be pretty big. Basic Island's kind of interesting to see in a Shadow deck. Doesn't always happen. Yeah, people playing the deck I made. That's the goal of the stream is for other people to play the decks I build. That has always been the express goal of what what I'm doing here, is to make decks for people to play. And so I would never get upset seeing someone else play a deck of mine. I would never get upset on this channel at all. Famously level-headed and reasonable. Aspiring Spy could never yell at anybody. All right, down to a measly 28 life points. They still got that Ragavan in their hand. We are slaughtering their channelers. We don't even need spells. Spells are for next game. Save this for the Archivist. Okay, so no more fetch lands. No street race. No, not that Thoughtseize matters very much, but no Thoughtseizes. Fuming Kato. Whoa, Teamer Battle Rage 12/12 Death Shadow? I go to 10 life. Alright, Teamer Rage for 12/12. I'm gonna go to 10. Would have gone to 6 if they had not attacked their Ragavan. So we're up a game against Shadow. Endurance is usually pretty dang good against them. I'm just a Bill. Yes, I'm only a Bill. Would I consider Dryad Arbor in this deck? No, and I would not consider Dryad Arbor. Fuck that card. Archivist seems kind of bad against their Bowmasters. Stupid. Yeah, I like Archivist too. It's a pretty good home for it, I think, but not very good in this matchup. We consider Teeth and Wormlet. Not a big fan of that card either, and it also just doesn't. We don't have enough artifacts. Oh, sorry. My phone's almost done. I'm gonna put it on the charger. Okay, let's not keep this. Let's not keep this either. Alright, sad keep. Fumori Vault. Yeah, again, not enough artifacts in this deck for Fumori Vault. Could have a different build. Maybe that could support it. Okay, let's have them miss their land drop and cast a Ragavan. Is our opponent slow enough to build a deck while they're resolving this preordain? Because I was thinking about the Detective Urza shell a little bit, and I was kind of thinking that I wonder if this should be like a Moonsnare prototype Signet deck, where like the Signets like cycle with the Forensic Gadgeteer in play, and you can play Enigma Jewel for the Enigma Jewel plus the Signet, so your Enigma Jewel is like a Soul Ring sometimes, and then the Jewel also cracks the clues, and the Jewel also like channels Moonsnare prototype, which is kind of sick. Could be interesting. I think I want to wait on the ping until their upkeep, or in response to a fetch. Okay, it's nice to get a 2-for-1 after mulliganing to 5. Yeah, no scoldings today. Isn't that nice? Okay, so let's just... My opponent's playing, you know, pretty slow. So the idea would be like you're playing Signets over the border post. The synthesizers were good. They got Breeding Pool. Magical Line's definitely been lagging. They got Breeding Pool untapped end of turn. But if we're gonna be on the Signets over this, it probably doesn't make sense to play them still. And then I wonder if we could maybe even move away from the Midnights and stuff. I feel like 6 Signets has been like a good number in the past for the Enigma Jewel decks. Just add 4 random blue ones for now. Yeah, I like that Shadow Synthesizer, but I'm not sure it was, you know... Just kind of wanted to go a different direction, potentially. Find a Nykthos. Graveyard in that may make it hard to Scion, but boy, do I not want to draw it. Border Post Trigger Synthesizer, I guess that's the idea. Yeah, we were just going to cut both, potentially, and be like Enigma Jewel Signet over Synthesizer Border Post. She was fine. Gadgeteer's been really good, I think. I've been liking Gadgeteer a lot. Okay, I'm going to concede to go to game 3 against slowest Shadow player, or, sorry, average speed Shadow player. In a game where we kind of can't win. But Enigma Jewel is really good, and it's good with the Gadgeteer, because you can like tap it to sack 2 clues, churn through your deck a little bit. It's good with the Moonsnare prototype. We probably would need... We would get to play like the blue utility lands too, I guess, which is nice. Champion has felt really good in the board, kind of 2-3 main deck. It's kind of a polarized card, I would imagine. Can we Voltaic Key combo? I don't think we can. This hand is sick. Is Keenan worth considering in that deck? Maybe tough to cast. Wondering? Well, we have Gadgeteer, and we have Urza, and we have Thought Monitor as like powerful card draw stuff. So a flipped Enigma Jewel with a Voltaic Key goes infinite with another mana rock that taps for 2 mana, right? Which we don't have at the moment. And there isn't like really... Maybe we'd have to play like a Timeless Lotus or something. But having an infinite combos deck would be kind of nice, like with the jewels and stuff, because you just draw your whole deck when you get Urza Gadgeteer going sometimes. We're getting our thoughts seized. How should a Siege in Archive? Pretty bad. You're gonna activate the abilities once, right? No. So we've done it before on stream. So you care about this part. Whenever you activate an ability that isn't a mana ability, copy it. So you care about having Voltaic Key in play in addition to your that text on the Enigma Jewel. Ooh. Don't mind if I do. In addition to that text on the Enigma Jewel, so what you do is you copy the Voltaic Key ability to untap the key, and to untap a mana rock that taps for 2 or more mana, and then you spend 1 mana to do that over and over again, generating 1 mana every turn as you go. Yeah, Worn Power Stone's not legal in Modern. 1 Thoracle instead of other combo. Well, what's kind of nice about playing the key, right, is that this is a card with like a lot of synergy in the deck, or has some synergy in the deck, where the Thoracle is just a total brick. But yeah, not sure that you necessarily want to play the infinite combo. But I don't know. People always go 5 head at Thassa's Oracle, brother. That shit wins the game when it enters the battlefield, and you're not wrong, but you're not wrong. But I've never necessarily been like that impressed with just registering Oracle in these kind of decks. It usually ends up being a little bit win more. Yeah, well, we would need like a mana rock that taps for 2 mana, which is the problem. Like you can really only do that with Everflowing Chalice, Astral Cornucopia, that kind of stuff. Mesmeric Orb, you can build your whole deck with Key Signet. That's true. Key is an easy. Yeah, the key is the easy include. The problem is like a mana rock that taps for 2 mana. Just not too many of those. I guess if you had the other Enigma Jewel, that would work. My poison's been picked. Backup Bill. Please. Please, I can't handle a Fatal Push. Yes, I'm a Bill. Yes, I'm only a Bill. And I have 8 +1/+1 counters. Should have been Hexproof Vigilance, Lifelink, Trample. First strike. But stupid, pick your poison. Stupid Liliana of the Veil. Guess I can't activate Bill here. Have 5 cards in their hand. Can you use the front side of Jewel, or do you need the non-restricted mana? Yeah, I think another Jewel should work. Well, I guess the unrestricted mana, I don't know. It actually maybe doesn't work because your signets stay tapped. Maybe 2 Voltaic Keys would do it. Nice order. There wasn't a way for me to sequence this. I can't play Bill. I can't cast Stirrings, then play Bill, then activate Nykthos, brother. Nor could I cast Bill, activate Nykthos before casting the Stirrings. Alright, that Tarmogoyf is going to be too small. Maybe you're going to chump block and set up for the Edict. Is the list illegal in Modern? Lily got a lot better with the whole Leyline Scion stuff. We were at one point like 10-0 on the day with the 4th Liliana's in her deck. It's a good day. Opponent, cast your Preordains! Cast your Preordains before casting your creatures, before choosing what card to discard. Just cast it first. The bill's been good. You can make infinite mana the next key setting. Oh, right, yeah. That sounds like that should work. Okay, well. We will force a chump block, and then I don't want to hear a single thing about Dryad Arbor. See if they found a Fatal Push. They put 2 cards in the bottom with the Preordain. Bill's taking out Goyves, taking out Shadows. I guess it was maybe better to sandbag the Heath and no, I want to surveil. So 3 cards in their hand. Hopefully all discard spells. A 25 life. We have Archdruid's Charm, Ballista, Scion, Stirrings for Ballista or Scion as awesome top decks here. My opponent draw step Kolagons commands me. So we have a fancy play of searching our library for an Endurance and then casting the Endurance, stopping them from bringing back their Death Shadow. Yeah, I love Archdruid's Charm. Very rare for a draw step Kolaghan's Command to be a 0 for 1. 1/1 Channeler, 2 cards in hand. Put it maybe considering casting a discard spell for Surveil. Instead, they have a Dismember that they pay 2 life for. Is their last card another Shadow? Thankfully not. It's probably a discard spell. Walking Ballista is a good draw here. I guess with only 1 scales, it's right to just dump all the mana in. Okay, hour and a half later, we are 2-1. Could be a push. I mean, be a push doesn't. It could be a push, but push just doesn't do anything. I kind of feel like it's a Thoughtseize. Go ahead and gives us the GG. Got too much lag for me to respond. There we go. GG. Earlier this week. Not a great hand, but a hand nonetheless. I think we keep on 6. Why pay life if Thoughtseize? Yeah, could be the Inquisition. But paying also Thoughtseize would allow you to go to 1 for a Death Shadow going forward. I'm planning on doing a Pioneer RCQs this season. I mean, I'm planning on it. I haven't done any yet, but I'm not opposed to doing so. Why are they main phasing this? All right, main phase Misty Rainforest for Hedge Mage. Put a card on top. All right, let's just. I'm scared of Red and 6, but I think I want to go Archivist into like Triome, Scion, grow the Archivist, or not super likely to just scales, draw a card next turn, but we'll see what we draw. Has to be Living End? I don't know. It is, we got a lot of graveyard hate. What's my stance on Stifle and Modern? I think it would be a negative inclusion. You're right about the Living End. So just like match 1 against Goryo's, we have a lot. Our graveyard hate's in the board, but we have a lot of it. So I guess up against Living End, we're not going to cast the Scion. We'll just cycle the scales and see what happens. Maybe concede for info, since we're so unlikely to win game 1. And we have the Bog, and then we have the Endurances, and the Bog makes our Charms graveyard hate, so we basically have like 9 graveyard hate spells post board. So we'll cycle the Sprawl first. And unfortunately, this is game 1. I think I'm just gonna like the only like kinds of hands of theirs I can beat are like non-functional ones that never find land 3 or never find a Cascader with this kind of deck. So it's no brain. Cast the Scion. Yeah, Stifle will be really good in Modern, and it would be pretty unfun, I think. Finger on the trigger. Guess we'll take a look at what they reveal. Nothing very relevant. Living End, 4 cards down. So going to game 2, got a lot of graveyard hate. Living End seems to be on the rise a little bit. Then the Nissa, yeah, I think boarding out the Archivist of Nissa always finds Endurance is pretty nice. Sorry, I keep meaning to cut a scales, and I'm keep clicking Utopia Sprawl instead. Could also maybe play like let's not cut a land for the Bog, where Bog is kind of, it's more of a spell in the deck, I think. Seen some Living In players running the new Armadillo. The what? Oh, I can like see the card in my mind. I can't. I'm gonna keep this. And I guess I'm probably supposed to keep the second Leyline to pitch to Endurance. Yeah, the 7/7. That card's big. Gains through life, yeah. I mentioned in the set review, it's just like these creatures that, you know, are just like living in cards. I'm never like very excited. Wow, a living in toy. What is it? It's a creature that can cycle and it goes to the graveyard and then you're living in it back. Wow. Like, just y'all can figure it out. Not for me. Good draw. Maybe just find Nykthos with this, depending on what else we see. Was somewhat optimistic I could surveil a creature into the yard. Not meant to be. Yeah, Ward 3 is good. Yeah, that card's nice. Subtlety my Scion. Keep it on top. Removal one hasn't seen any play. Yeah, the card also seems fine. Finds a breeding pool. I'm such a fool for keeping my Scion on top, huh? These kind of matchups, it's really, really nice that they can't Violent Outburst you anymore, though. Let's just hold up our 3-drops here. If they living in and they make me, or if they living in here, I just get Bog and then I could untap and hardcast the Leyline. Opponent with not a super functional draw. I think I'm still actually going to just search a Bog so I can cast this Leyline and, you know, get my draw kind of functional again potentially. I think that's going to be the pick here. And then if they can both find land number 4 and like rebuild in a really meaningful way, good for them. I'm gonna also play my Triome here so that I can go cast Scion, hold up, Coward cast Endurance. Opponent has nothing. So what is their hand? Grieve, Subtlety, Cascaders, Force of Negation. They find land number 3. Okay, we'll cycle this Triome into turn if we don't need to Endurance. Expecting this to get Subtletied. Which it does. Pitching Ardent Plea. I think I'm actually going to bottom the Scion now. Not run into the same Foundation Breaker situation maybe, but also just drawing more charms and endurances seems like what I want to be doing. Graveyard's another Ardent Plea. Well, if their last 2 cards are 3rd Subtlety and another blue card, good shit. I'm going to cast this Endurance though. Maybe this was bad. Maybe just I like having the Endurance in the yard, like for the next living in. But maybe this is just this was just bad. Might cycle this Ozolith if I don't draw any action next turn, so just cast the Scales. They just have like no cyclers at the moment. Yeah, but yeah, maybe just keeping it to just block was nice. So they grief away my Ozolith, get punished for this line, I guess. Cycle for green and then evoke. Well, I mean, that only works if, you know, you draw the green and then like some of these cards are action spells we'd prefer not to do that with, but yeah, maybe. Also, them just having a 2/2 is kind of nice. Hopefully the last card is not Subtlety. It's not. If I played Ozolith here, the Scion would be killing him really fast. was right to play the scales, because there's a really good chance I just wanted to cycle. Generous End for Lush Portico. So if they have a Ardent Plea, they'll be able to. Living in next turn. Like, it's not. They've already pitched 2 copies or 1 copy. 1 copy. Nice. Yeah, Ozolith having cycling makes it really nice for the deck. Thought about maybe playing just 4 Ozoliths. Could you actually just be right? Since the mana sink is so nice. But thinking about just sacrificing the agent. Save this for Bill. I think Bill's maybe lethal, maybe a little short. Okay, no longer that relevant. Also, this may... Well, I guess I might shuffle another Living End back into their deck, huh? Because they pitched 1 earlier. But also another Living End just won't be that bad for us because we'll have the Scion in the yard. Because so right now it should be an Endurance versus a Shardless Agent, and then we could Endurance them so that we shuffle away the agent, but then I think just leaving them with 1 Living End is probably correct. All right, save for Bill. Get in for 3. Time to make Spike look another flavor of the deck he's playing, but worse. Okay. Cycle Street Wraith. 4 Scornblade Berserker is too many Scornblade Berserker, brother. I'm very confused at these bitter triumphs as well. It's not really playable card. Like super fringe playable modern only if you have like lots of things to discard for value. Definitely not like a card to just jam in a shell like this, I think. I really strongly dislike that you don't have any like powerful lands to get with Archdruid's Charm. Like playing Archdruid's Charm in a shell without Nykthos is, you know, or like Lotus Field stuff is, I'm like just not that excited to play this card in this deck. Is like, this is in this deck it's mostly like 3 mana, you're mostly like fight ability, disenchant ability, which is just not it, I think. No, Fairy Macabre. But wait, why did they only exile my Scion? I boarded out my Archivist, so I can play this Sprawl. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of don't get it. This is like I don't really see what it is this build is doing better than like anything else. Wait, why did they leave me with this Endurance? Okay, a ton of good top decks, and like their clock is not that scary at the moment. I'm at 26. Yeah, maybe misclick. Just play this so like so Bill can go crazy. Yeah, I don't know. That's like I hit like the grist look kind of mediocre. You have way too many 3 drops. I like Bill though. Boy, do I love Bill. I don't think I've got really any other thoughts. Interesting attack. So we're taking 6, or sorry, 6 plus 3, 9, down to 17. Is it Generous End? Maybe the term should be Cauldrons. And in our deck, no. In their deck, there's also Cauldrons. I don't know. I with Peace and Love, I just don't have any feedback. I can tell you what cards are bad, but I don't think there's really like I can't shit out a bunch of like miracle green black cards that are just going to make this deck idea work. You know what I mean? Can you make a short brewer's guide, like a quick vid on the process of building decks effectively? I've written like a few articles on Channel Fireball back when I wrote for them. on the topic that I would encourage you to go read. But a quick vid is kind of a funny thing to ask for. I don't know. Ain't nothing quick about brewing. Okay, we're looking for Scion, Archdruid's Charm, Ballista, Stirrings into an artifact creature. But we'll take Bristly Bill. Why not block in the Wraith? They have an Urborg and Swamp Walk, and I also just have a Swamp in play. Yes, a long vid, perhaps. Perhaps. So I think I just go play Nykthos, put a counter on Bill, and then kind of set up to a spot where I can attack with 2 creatures that are both presenting lethal next turn. If I draw a fetch land, all of my creatures can present lethal, which is nice. But I make it to where they can't really attack with the generous end with this. This looks nothing like Scales. Isn't Inti better at growing Scion? Why do people come in and suggest, like, random off-color card for a deck? I don't understand. Is it Inti? Inti is not good in this deck. The mana curve is too high. There's a lot to like really dislike about registering an Inti here. But it's like, what a random ass card to suggest here, I feel. And is also like just off color. So funny. But Scales has a lot of synergies in this deck where, we're playing Ballista, we're playing Bill, we're playing Elvish Archivist. It's gives devotion. No card is off color with Leyline. Yeah, you don't always have Leyline. Also, no, NT is not better than Bill at growing Scion. So you're going down to 6 life points. I can make them chump with 2 creatures here, or all 3 if I draw a fetch land. Them having a grief here is so annoying and so bad, unfortunately. Now I need a top deck. I do have lots of super life top decks at least. Scion wins, Ballista wins, Archdruid's Charm. Let's go. So we'll see if they have Force of Negation or something. Scion's kind of the easier win. Yeah, they're out of living ends. Yes, I'm a Bill. Yes, I'm only a Bill. And I have... I'm a 193, 193. Let's go, dude. Big Billiam. Okay. Game 3. I have Endurance. Got a lot of Endurances in the deck. I also have a lot of Subtleties. I think I'm just mulliganing. Now say NT to give your... Oh, NT. I mean, it's Scion already gives it trample, but... The NT suggestion is just so... so out there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should cut the 7. Maybe we could put back a land. The Ballista, despite being good with our hand, is kind of awkward into their stuff. I feel like I'm just mostly hoping to draw Endurance, which is a shitty place to be. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to 4. We have a lot of 5s and 6s better than that 7. Oh, let me check NRW. Okay. Fulminator is more of a plan. I like that you're not playing Charms anymore. Still got a lot of 3s. Ignoble Hierarch helps with the 3s. Yeah, again, nothing like glaringly wrong. Just like the whole idea is a little sus. You know what I mean? And we can maybe just like sandbag the ballista to post living in, then go like 2/2 ballista, activate on scales, then we have a or sorry, 1/1 into 3/3 into counter 6/6. My point is just not cycling. Oh, they're cycling. Alright, I wish you luck. Probably don't play Crime Punishment. Probably play Force of Vigor instead. So now I can maybe surveil something into the yard like a bill in response to a living end. This is Ardent Plea? Really? This could be big. Come on, Hedge Mage, I've never asked you for anything. Bill! This is only as a sorcery, right? Yeah. No! Fuck, dude. Should have expected that. Stupid living end. Okay, so they got 6 points of power in play over there, huh? Well, Bill, Ballista. Some good draws here. Ballista. Ding, ding, ding. We can't activate the Ozolith on it this turn, which kind of stinks. But it's going to come down as a 3/3. My opponent only has one card in their hand. We're going to get to make it a 6/6 next turn. Yeah, I was really excited for the bill. Obviously, finding Ballista, you know, we'll take this. If only we had Ardent Plea to give our Walking Ballista Exalted. Great draw. Probably should upkeep the Endurance to like not get super blown out by Hardcast Subtlety. This does let my opponent like Exalted a bit better though. But now it's also obvious I have it, so let's just do it. Really don't want to get Hardcast Subtletied. Nice that my Ballista can kill their whole board here too, potentially, but not if they Exalted and then Disenchant, I guess. What is this attack? Do you not care that you have Exalted, opponent? I think they're hoping that I go like that I like ping their Endurance and then kill their Grief or something. But now we'll ping my own Endurance. And then just ping them for 5. Cauldron doesn't cut it. You could play a Cauldron, you could play a Lost Jitte. I feel like you don't really want to play like more than like 1 or 2 of either of these though. So we should be able to go Devo into Leyline, activate the Ozolith, make them chump block. And then if they have another living in, they, you know, they're still standing. Am I missing something with the opponent making the play? Well, mostly that they were super dead. They had to kill the Ballista. I'm just gonna ping them to death. Okay, they can see. Okay, let's get a Bill 4/1 prediction. Lost to Green Red Valakut. That matchup seemed tough. So we have the rest of the Boseijus in the billboard for the Tron matchup. But on the draw against Tron, not the best place to build B. Has Cauldron been looked at? Yeah, I thought about playing Cauldron in my Walking Ballista deck. But we're kind of low on activated abilities, and we're kind of low on creature count anyways. But yeah, you could play it. But that would be kind of nice with the build too. But also like the Ozolith, I think the Ozolith is just kind of like better than Cauldron in this deck, which is weird to say, right? But it's like Ozolith gives devotion, and it's like just such a nice mana sink in your Nykthos deck. And it also cycles, where like I think one issue is like, or one thing I like about this build, this build is you're kind of low on creatures, right? We only have 17, but we have 4 Archdruid's Charms and tutor creatures. We have Stirrings that can fund creatures, and we have Ozolith that just cycles. So you get to like churn a little bit and cheat on your creature count. And so as soon as you start cutting these for actual non-creatures, I think it becomes kind of tough. So let's play the Ozzy this turn, and then next turn we're going to go Scales Ballista. I would prefer to not have to legend roll my Nykthos, but I will if I have to. I think Jitte sounds... Yeah, Jitte sounds pretty sick. I agree. Jitte could be... We could maybe play like Jitte... Like, we could... So one thing is, like, I feel like the Ozolith is really good in this deck, and Scales is, like, kind of okay. But it's like... An Elvish Archivist is, like, pretty mediocre, but also, like, really cool. And... Interesting. I think I'm going to try to Stirrings for a land before I play the Scales. It's one less counter, but I think this makes sense. And I can maybe use the Archdruid's Charm to kill the Oblivion Stone next turn. Is the one of Nissa for some matchup thinking, or just a strong card? It's just a strong card. You also like good with the endurances post board, but against the Elvish Archivist, but you could cut them. But yeah, like I think if we're gonna start like adding like if we like playing something like Lost Jitte over some Scales just sounds kind of interesting, but we kind of just need a card like Elvish Archivist. And Elvish Archivist is cool, and it's like at least doing the thing here, but I kind of wish it was higher power level. But yeah, I've been looking, and they're, you know, the quality's kind of tough to find. So there's the map. They can Oblivion Stone this turn. Teething Wormlet. We don't have enough artifacts for Teething Wormlet. You're silly. Like you need to play like Cookbook, Oval Chase Daredevil for Wormlet to be like card worth considering, and we're just so far away from that. Mostly just hoping my opponent's super flooded. Unlikely to take game 1 here. We just need like a 2-drop that has like a lot of power and toughness. Works with Nykthos, has +1 counters, and is also a card advantage engine. That's all we need. Maybe a 1-drop. Maybe a 1-drop. Every opponent in this league has just been like it's my opponent's 5th turn. They've used 5 minutes on the clock. Their turns have not looked to be that complicated. Every match. If you're subbing Scales for Jitte, that's more artifacts. Teething Wormlet is far away from the realm of playability in this deck. Yeah, not I don't think we can Tarmogoyf. Gab, thanks for the raid. Playing Bristly Build Devotion today. Playing for the 4-1. We're down a game against average speed Tron player. Like in the deck so far. Thinking about doing some changes for next league. A lot of quality suggestions like Teething Wormlet and Barkhide Troll. Not quite fitting the bill. Average speed Tron player. Okay, thank you, Pony. Good job. Botanical Brawler. Is that the green-red 3/2 that makes 2 energy and attacks, and you can spend an energy to buff it. Because it better not be. You better have suggested a different card just now. I'm going to cut the Hedge Maze and a Forest, and then it's like down 2 lands in 3 Boseijus. Breaking Modern every day. Hell yeah, Gab. Thanks for the 50 freaking months, huh? 50 years of Breaking Modern every day. Oh, Botanical Brawler is the green-white counter thing. I see. Card's pretty bad. That's the problem. They're just, we're missing some quality no matter what we're doing here. Archivist isn't very good. I think it's maybe just the best thing. Inti will save us. If Bill could play 8 non-legendary Bills, dude, that would be so sick. Or if Bill was an elf or an elemental instead of a stupid freaking cactus. Why, like, Bill is an elemental, like, maybe he's not. Maybe he is just a cactus. But how can you be a walking cactus and not be an elemental? If Nissa could find Bill, we'd be cooking. What's the problem with Archivist? It's like slow and it's a 2-mana 1 toughness creature, but it is kind of like what the deck is looking for. But also, if we're thinking about adding cards like Cauldron, Lost Jitte, it would be better to like move away from the Archivist at that point, I think. Why not Harvest over Stirrings? Does Ball and Scion matter that much? Stirrings digging for Scion and Ballista and Nick, like kind of your best cards with like Ballista, Scion, Nykthos, and the fact that this finds all of them and digs really deep for them is super good. I would play Oath of Nissa over Abundant Harvest maybe, but never really liked Harvest, and like Harvest into Leyline's pretty bad. It's like just not a very good Harvest deck, I think. Bill Moles to 5. Brying Time Mest. Thank you for the Twitch Prime. Scrounging Bandar. We definitely have had some wild suggestions today. Kind of wish I could have said more champions. Say we have 12, which is low. Yeah, I agree. I also find myself wishing the card was better. I'm probably scrying on turn 1. Let's try this. Okay, Cat Monkey, 2 counters. Not going to continue to read. Scrounging Bandar. Yeah, I'm a big Scavenging Ooze hater. Yeah, you could just play the One Ring. You could play the One Ring and be kind of light on creatures. That might be just a fine thing to do. All right, I pointed out my Surveillant. Okay, need all this. Dusk Legion Duelist with Jitte. All I know about Dusk Legion Duelist is that it's a vampire. Yeah, so someone pull that card up for me. Please and thank you. What did they get here? They got Urza's Power Plant. Previously, I think you were the one suggesting that yeah, you could play Rig in this deck. Yeah, we're an Ancient Stirrings deck. I think it makes a lot of sense. Whenever one or more counters are put on the duelist, draw a card. Ability triggers once each turn. Yeah, if it wasn't restricted to 1 each turn, it could be pretty exciting. It's a cool suggestion. Okay, let's not wait for opponent to tank, cast payoff again. 3-2, definitely not bad with 4 Bristly Bills and 4 Elvish Archivists in the deck. I do think I want to try another build of this before we go to our backup deck for today. So I think cutting the Archivist makes sense to me.